Welcome back to Enviro Global. Today our topic is Xerosere or Xerarch succession. This Xerarch succession, it starts on soils where the moisture content is very low. So we can say it starts in desert areas, or it starts in areas, it starts on rocks where moisture content is very low. If the succession starts on rocks, we call it lithosere. If the succession starts on sand, we call it Xerosere. If the succession starts on saline soil, or saline substratum, we call it Halosere. So these lithosere, Xerosere, Halosere, they are these subtypes of Xerosere or Xerarch succession. Here we will study these different stages of succession in a lithosere. In a lithosere, so we are studying different phases of succession which come up on a rock. So it is also it is type of this xerosere. First is crustose lichenous stage. In this crustose lichenous stage, different species of lichens, they come up or they invade this area. They invade the bare rock. For example, species of Rhizocorpon, Rhinodina, Licanoro, they invade the rock. For example, we are having a rock, and this rock is invaded by different species of lichens. Lichens invade this area. These lichens, the conditions over there, they are very extreme. There is no organic matter or very low organic matter. Temperature is very extreme. The temperature is either very high or it is very low, and moisture is also very low. And what these lichens do, these crustose lichens do, they produce acids. They produce some acids, and these acids, they somewhat do some weathering of the rock. So the rock is slowly being broken down. Some pieces of rock is slowly being broken down by these acids which are released in this crustose lichenous stage. Now the conditions, they are becoming favorable for the foliose lichens, but they become unfavorable for crustose lichens, because crustose lichens, they are adapted to live in very extreme conditions. So here this lithosere, it is not only this primary succession. Besides primary succession, here occurs also autotrophic succession, because mostly the plant species, they are invading the area. So in lithosere is also in lithosere, primary succession occurs as well as autotrophic succession occurs. Now one more important thing, crustose lichens, they are making conditions unfavorable for themselves but favorable for other species, or we can say, or favorable for this foliose lichens. So we can say this autogenic succession is occurring in these phases. This foliose lichens stage. In foliose lichens stage, some amount of this in foliose lichens stage, some amount of this organic matter is already present, which added to these sediments, added to these rocks, weathered rocks. These folios, now the different species of folios like Permelia, Dermatocorpon, they occupy this, or they come up in this area. These lichens are able to accumulate large amount of water. So the amount of water, it is also increasing in this area, or in organic matter, it is also increasing, and this soil is also forming in this area. In this foliose lichens stage, soil starts to form. So some soil forms in this foliose lichens stage. In crustose lichens stage, weathering of rocks occurs, because these crustose lichens, they were producing acids which help in weathering of rocks. Foliose lichens, they are able to accumulate large amount of water. Now moving to moss stage. Now here, before this moss stage, some soil has already been formed. Now the conditions, they are favorable for the moss, for these mosses. Now the different some xerophytic moss species of Polytrichum, Tortula grimia, they come up in this area, and they further add the organic matter to the substratum. So the conditions now become favorable for herbs, and they become unfavorable for the mosses. So mosses are being replaced by herbs now. The fourth stage is herbal stage. In herbal stage, different herbaceous weeds are having very little requirements. They can live in very extreme, they can live in extreme conditions. First, these herbaceous weeds, they come up in these rocks. These herbaceous weeds, they are annuals, means they live there, they can live there only for one season. They are annual. These periodic or annual herbaceous, they are after these herbaceous annuals, biannuals and perennial herbs also come up in this area, or on this rock surface. Besides, in herbal stage, besides herbs, shallow rooted grasses also come up in this area, like Aristida, Fastuca, Pava, Solidago. So in herbal stage, herbaceous weeds, annuals, then biannuals, then perennials come up. After these, shallow grasses also come up in this area. So more and more organic matter is added to the area, which increase the water holding capacity of the soil, and the depth of the soil, it is also increasing. Now the conditions, they are becoming favorable for shrubs. So some shrub species like Rus, Phytocorpus, they come up because now the depth of the soil has increased, organic matter content has also increased, water holding capacity has increased, and because of the weathering of rocks, nutrient content has also increased, because these rocks, they are aggregate of nutrients. Now moving to tree stage. After this shrub stage, the conditions now become favorable for the trees. These shrubs, they further improve the conditions, and now the conditions, first, this area is being invaded by xerophytic trees, which can live in somewhat extreme conditions. The trees which can live in extreme conditions, then these trees are being replaced by mesophytes, which can live in moderate conditions. So forest stage, it is climax stage. It is climax stage of this lithosphere. So this forest community, it is in equilibrium with the climatic, with the environmental conditions, and this crustose lichenous stage, these are the pioneer community. Why I am calling it a community? Because there are not just one species, but there are a group of species which occurs over there, or which invades this area, and the rest of the stages between pioneer stage and between pioneer community and climax community, these are called seri. These are called the seri, or developmental stages. So first stage is pioneer community, is invaded by community. Last is climax community, and rest are developmental stages, or seri. With this, we have completed Xerosere. Thank you.